Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the broadcast of this match between the Queensland AFL and the Victorian Amateur Football Association. My name is Andrew Leonard, and joining me in commentary today for today's game is Will Ralston. It's a very good afternoon to you, Will. I'll let you introduce where we are. We're north of Brisbane at a new facility. It's a fantastic facility, but it is a bit of a hike out of Brisbane.
It is a hike, Andrew. Welcome to Burpengary. It's the Burpengary Regional Sports Complex. It's actually a fantastic facility north of Brisbane that the Brisbane Lions have played a couple of pre-season matches at before, and the NEAFL in particular. I think Brisbane are playing the Gold Coast up here next week in the NEAFL, which will be exciting, and it's magnificent facilities here. So it's a blustery day here in Burpengary. We noticed in the last game that the left side of the screen is going to be the scoring end usually, given the way the wind is pushing, but it's a bit swirly. It's difficult. Once kicks are high up in the air, they're going to be hard to read today.
Looking forward to this one. Of course, these two sides have not met at a senior level before. The VAFA has travelled up in the past to take on various representative sides from Queensland at both under-19 and under-21 level. The first clash between the two competitions or combined representative sides at senior level will be today. The VAFA have played one representative game at senior level earlier this year. They played that in the pre-season AFL Victoria Metropolitan Championships, with the VAFA coming out on top and winning that game against the very strong Eastern Football League. I'm not sure if the Queensland side have had a chance to play together in representative football and when that last might have been at all.
Maybe not this side in particular. I think it's a few new names playing together today, as we saw Cameron Howard win that toss for the VAFA. They're going to kick to the left hand of the screen, that all-important goal-scoring end, as I mentioned before.
I was out actually in the middle of the ground earlier at half-time of that clash before between North Queensland and South Queensland, and the wind was, if anything, was a cross breeze coming right into our faces here in our broadcast position, Will. So hopefully that means we'll see plenty of play on this side of the ground. So you mentioned Cameron Howard, the captain of the VAFA from the Queensland side. I didn't catch who that was.
No, I didn't quite catch who it is either. I might have a look at my team sheet here.
Of course, Steve Daniel, the coach of the Queensland side, and Simon Lethlean is coaching the Victorian Amateur Football Association side. Simon Lethlean has a 100% record so far. I think this is his 6th match in charge of the senior side. He's won all his previous 5 to date. So looking forward to this one. Keane, Williams, Overman, and I didn't quite catch the 4th player coming to the bench for the VAFA. And for Queensland, their bench players, Simon Seddon, Nathan Quick, Jamie Hackett and Adam Boone. Good to see one of the field umpires being sun-smart out there. It is sunny conditions. He's got his hat on as we get ready for this clash. It's the VAFA and AFL Queensland here from Burpengary, just north of Brisbane. Umpire bounces the ball in the middle of the ground, sure to go up in ruck there against Hare. 0-all draw really. First clearance might come out the back here for Queensland. They do work it out through Russ, who got a hand pass sideways, but it's chopped off by Roach, who hacked a kick forward. Here's Ambrose for the VAFA. Wheels around, wants his right foot, has a shot at goal, kicks to the top of the goal square. Chance for Cruz coming through, just punched through for the first score of the day. It's a minor score off hands. The VAFA on the board. They're one behind 1 point. Queensland to bring it back in.
That was a really impressive spoil by Daniel. Had to do well, and he does, but that's a dangerous effort there by the Queensland player. I think it was Tomlinson. But it's going to work out. This is Spackman. Left foot kick forward. Chopped off by Townley. It's gone out of bounds just on the right forward flank for the VAFA. So we'll have a boundary throw in here. The two ruckmen, Shaw and Hare, going head to head. So Shaw for Victoria. Turns it over. This is Hare, 4. Deemed a throw by the umpire. So it's going to come back to Victoria, and they're going to set up as they go inside 50.
So short kick is a good one to Roach. Gives the hand pass off to the running Howard, who kicks long from outside 50. This might go all the way. It does! It's the first goal of the day. The skipper, Cam Howard, gets it for the VAFA, a long-range effort. And that's a good start for the VAFA, 1-1-7. They get the first inside a couple of minutes. We've gone a minute and a half here at Burpengary.
What a devastating left foot that was. 55 metres out, he didn't even hesitate to take the shot, and that with no one in the goal square. Very good option. So it is the VAFA. I'll just call them the VAFA today for convenience sake. They are 1-1-7, leading Queensland yet to score. So Hare and Shaw. Hare wins it down. This will go forward to Queensland. Bursting through the traffic there. Right foot kick forward to the flank. No one can take the mark. But that was Bilton going up against his own kick. Dropped inside, forward 50. Well done there defensively by Victoria. Bit of space here, but it's been turned over again. This is going to be Kinch. Tries to find a teammate. That's a good kick. He's got Russ. Lachlan Russ just outside 50, looks inboard. That's gone over his head. His target in 4. And it's going to go to Hilton.
He can relieve to the outer side of the ground to Cruz, who marks wearing the bright orange boots. Goes by hand to Nick Wynn, the old Zaverians halfback flanker. Premiership player last year. Beautiful pass down the line to Rice. And Rice sends it inside for the VAFA. Up towards the Hanley direction, punched away from him. At the fall of the ball, chance for Williams. Scott might get there first, he does. Hand pass back towards Roach, just outside. He goes by hand to Scott, back to Hilton. Hilton runs to 50, steps around 1, delivers to the goal square. But this time, Queensland were marking the last line of defence, and a mark is taken as they relieve now to Kinch at halfback.
So Kinch handballs off as they rebound outside 50. His target's Wadsworth. That's a high tackle. So he's going to get the ball back. Townley wanted it. So Shelton looks further down the line. Goes under the feet of his teammate in Aby. So Wynn has a teammate in Zimbax. And right in the centre square, this has opened up beautifully for the VAFA. Roach could take a bounce, but he goes inside 50, and that is a wonderful pass. And this is Matt Hanley for Old Zaverians. And he's going to have a set shot about 40 metres out.
So Hanley, for our Queensland viewers, is currently leading the goal kicking in the Premier section of VAFA. He's kicked almost 500 goals in almost a decade at Old Zavs. One of the star forwards of the competition. And I think this is his 10th representative match for the VAFA as well.
So he takes his kick. Matt Hanley straight through the middle, demonstrating that goal-kicking accuracy for us today here in Burpengary. As he puts the second on the board for the VAFA. They are 2-1-13, Queensland yet to score. It's going to be a tough day at the office for Ryan Johnson, you'd think, up against a player of that quality. Johnson, of course, from Morningside. Almost half the Queensland team is from Morningside today.
So I guess even if they haven't played together as a team, there's quite a few familiar faces out there for each of the players.
Bit of chemistry out there for them at club level.
Back in the middle here at Burpengary, beautiful bounce by the umpire. Shaw got the knockdown. Williams got a little kick out of the pack there for the VAFA. Up towards Croft. He just managed to paddle it forward. Chopping it off there was Russ, though, for Queensland. Shaw got a hand pass out to Roach, running past. Goes a little side kick out towards Cruz. He's wedged up against the boundary. Fields End just dropped the hand pass from Cruz. Hand pass back inboard to Roach. Runs to 45. Kick partially smothered. Gathering, though, Ambrose. Off to Paul. And Paul puts through another one for the VAFA.
Well, it has become quite an intimidating start now for Queensland. Just so many attacking options once you go inside forward 50. We saw a couple of handballs there by Roach, really setting up some avenues towards goal, and just constant pressure, constant harassment, and you feel like they're just going to be able to kick goals if they keep providing that sort of pressure. So Tom Paul kicks his first. He joins Howard and Hanley to kick the third goal for the VAFA. Queensland yet to get on the board. So in the middle it's going to be Hare and Shaw to contest once again. Shaw wins it down again. Hilton doubles back, does well, finds Tardif towards the flank. Strong mark in front of the Queensland defender. So this is going to be Wynn, following up his own ball. Will that stay in? Just. So tough position here, but he might have a shot. Croft Centers it. Handley, strong mark. That combination is devastating.
Beautiful pass from Croft, wasn't it? Just kicked it to the space and Hanley was able to get on the end of it.
So Matt Handley, as you said, Andrew, leading goal kicker, down for his club side this year. He's kicked one today. He's just squeezed it through, so he's kicked his second. And they're running at about a goal every 2 minutes at the moment, Victoria. It's going to be hard for Queensland to stem the flow at the moment.
Well, at the moment they just haven't been able to get past centre half forward. Queensland, even if they get their hands on it at the first contest, they're invariably chopping it up, or the tackling pressure of the VAFA is causing a turnover.
Yeah, not many uncontested marks so far from Queensland. They've been really up against it so far.
So let's see if they can try something here out of the middle. Play on. Hare got the knockdown. Here's a chance now for Queensland through Boone. Kick goes up towards centre half forward, but Miss Campbell marks unopposed. Got it to Tardif by hand, who got it to Zimbaks, the two Collegians players waxing together. Kick went out towards the wing and Fields end. Just got caught with the football, but got his kick away. Hilton might get there first. Putting a good shepherd on there was Cam Williams. Hand pass back inside for Keane. He went back towards Zimbaks on the outer side of the ground. Kick goes around the outer side to Keane again, who got caught with the ball, and will have a free kick for Queensland on the outer side of the ground, holding the ball.
So this will be Wadsworth. They might have a chance to finally control a bit of the tempo here, Queensland, because they haven't so far. That's a wonderful kick by Wadsworth to find his teammate in Matthew Logan. Not much presenting. There's only one teammate inside forward 50, so they're going to have to chip it backwards. His target's inboard if he wants them. This is 4. Samuel 4 from Morningside. Goes even further back, so they're losing ground here at the moment. Truella to set it up from the defensive centre square, through the middle, handball. A couple of teammates combined. This is dangerous. That was Daniel. Turned it over. VAFA to rebound. Oh, look at Hanley. He's got a hectare of space. He can take as long as he possibly likes. Hanley to kick a third. Drops the mark. Doesn't matter. Pops it through. Far too easy for the VAFA as they go out to a 5-1, 31-point lead.
Well, it was the turnover in the middle of the ground that cost it, and the VAFA hitting back hard and scoring quite comfortably in the end. Just that extra possession in the middle when maybe they needed to get a kick forward. It'd be interesting to see, though, even though it's a 5-goal lead at this stage, whether that breeze, how much of an impact that's having at ground level.
It definitely did favour the left hand of the ground in the last match, but it's hard to mount a case for Queensland. They have not looked anywhere near competitive enough so far. When they have the ball, no one's spreading, no one's leading, no one's creating any opportunities. So that has led to the 5-goal lead so far, as Shaw wins this one for Victoria. Sorry, it was Williams. But Queensland are able to send it forward for the first time today. I think that's their first inside 50. Running back is Townley. Oh, it's a little dribble kick in front of goal, but it's going to go through for a behind. That was Logan. And that's the first score of the day for Queensland.
So they're on the board, the Queenslanders. Kicked into this near side, out towards Williams, and he takes the mark. Plays on immediately, wants his left and gets around. Rice is on the wing. Can he take the mark? If not, he gets the free kick anyway. The mark is paid. So he's off now. Comes around Rice, sends it up towards Hanley already. They've got a number back there. Queensland dropping back. Cruz might get to the ball first. Slaps it inboard, beautifully done to Paul. Paul dribbles a kick towards goal, but didn't quite push it out enough, and it goes through for a minor score. 5-2-32 the VAFA. Queensland 1 behind. Paul, 1 goal, 1 today.
Oh no, and it's been dropped in front of goal. This is the last thing they need. Tomlinson, can he keep it in? Just. Nathan Quick from Broadbeach. Little chip over the top. So what can they do? It's just hard to find any available options as that goes over the head of his teammate in Wadsworth and it travels out of bounds. So the VAFA running around in the big V today. It's great to see out there on the Burpengary Regional Sports Complex field. So we see a ball in. Just favours Victoria, and that was Overman who's able to put it just to the edge of the 50. Running back with the flight were a few Queensland players, particularly Askey. Ball spills out the back to Spackman. Handball over the top. This is Boone. Can he create something here? That's a great tackle. And the VAFA are not giving an inch. Well done, Overman.
Yeah, it's an extra second that they're able to create by getting into space, the VAFA, and conversely, the pressure they're putting on, denying Queensland the time and space. Knocked over the back by Shaw, although it's Queensland with the numbers coming through there. Spackman couldn't quite gain possession. Scott on hands and knees trying to burrow it out. Attack forms right on the 50 and we'll have a ball up at centre half forward for the VAFA.
Every disposal by Queensland has been pressured, hasn't it? They have not,
absolutely, yep.
No comfort whatsoever. The tackling pressure is immense from Victoria.
Big knock by Shaw, came out though, chopped off by Queensland. Russ got it hand pass back towards 4. And they paid deliberate here, the umpire, for that hand pass towards the boundary line. So Howard to take the free kick for the VAFA.
So Howard, the captain for the VAFA. A lot of Queenslanders here. They should take this. Handley did well to chop it off, but it should be rebounded through Hackett. Dangerous. What's happened here? The umpire spotted something. It's a 50-metre penalty, I think, for the initial mark. So running forward is going to be Brock Askey from Currumbin. Umpire's going to call him back. So he has Hackett wide if he wants him. No, Hackett's running off. So Askey goes further forward. That's a good kick. He can play on here, Bilton. Long kick forward, couple of targets, but the only one that went up for it was the Victorian defender in Wynn. And they can rebound pretty comfortably.
They do so to the outer side of the ground, ends up with Tardif. Short kicker's okay towards Zimbax. Zimbax hand pass is back inboard to Roach, who kept running past. He got it to Cruz. Cruz delivered over the top of the head of Ambrose. He's up against the boundary here with Derrick for Queensland. Derrick does well on that occasion though. Wins it out, hand pass away to Boone. And Queensland have worked this out of defence well as they clear up towards the middle of the ground. VAFA with numbers though. Townley takes the mark, plays on immediately, kicks it inboard, up towards Hanley, backing back. Might get a free kick. No, said the umpire, play on. Well done there from Tomlinson, who spun out of trouble and back in. And Queensland are going to clear this beautifully now through Boone.
Boone looks for a teammate, just finds him in Reece Power.
This boundary umpire, this one's one of the tallest boundary umpires I've ever seen.
You're right, I think he's got a rucking
giant.
Career. Spackman bursting through the middle, takes a bounce. Cheeky little handball. And they're just starting to combine a bit here, Queensland. Maybe
you're getting their hands on the ball more, aren't they?
Just finding their feet. I think throwing that extra man back has really settled the nerves a bit. So Power. Back to Boone. Inboard. This could open up here. Kinch. His teammate is Tomlinson. Back to Kinch, but they're running backwards. Derrick. Further wide on the edge of the 50. That's a good mark to Lachlan Russ. And he decides to find a teammate closer to goal. And so this will be a set shot, 30 metres out, 45-degree angle. I have a feeling it's Ryan Johnson from Morningside, so a couple of Morningside players linking up there. So Johnson, it's a difficult pocket to take a set shot from. Let's see how he can do. Looks all right off the boot. It's drifted across the face. No, it wasn't all right at all. It's drifted well across the face, out of bounds on the full. They need a goal soon, Queensland, just to settle the tempo, make them feel a bit more comfortable, because it's all been Victoria so far.
Howard has it in the back pocket. Kicks a good one to the outer side of the ground. Got it to Fields' end. He went back inboard to Win by hand. Runs this way then that and sends a long kick down the line towards Hilton. Flew for the mark, couldn't quite bring it down. Well done by Derrick for Queensland, and he's won the ball back for his side. It ends up with him now. Kick around the corner was a poor one though. Chopped off by Hilton. Hand pass came out from Ambrose, got it to Roach. Roach over the top, and look at this, the space again. Croft takes the mark right on 50, plays on, and drills a goal. Lovely goal from Harry Croft. the VAFA get their 6-2, 38, 37-point margin now after 16 and a half minutes in the first term. Queensland one behind 1 point.
Yeah, the skill level is just a class above for VAFA. That is a wonderful finish from Harry Croft. Right outside 50. They've kicked a few goals from outside 50 today. He kicks his first goal of the day. Becomes the 4th goal scorer for the VAFA. Of course, Matt Handley scored 3. Other singles to Howlett and Tom Paul. Queensland yet to find an avenue to goal. So doing the chop out ruck work for Queensland is Ben Merritt. He goes up here, wins that tap down. But bursting through is Zimbaks. Puts it high to the flank. A couple of players underneath it. That's a great mark by Croft. Just kicked the last goal. Here's the captain, Howard. He bangs it long. Well read though. Well done by Derek. And he can throw that through for a rush behind, taking them to 6-3-39.
So Tomlinson kicks it to himself. Comes to this near side. It's a good kick to find a teammate there in Boone, who takes the mark. Still inside defensive 50. His kick inboard was a dangerous one, but it's good enough to find his target there in Merritt. He goes backwards across the face of goal to Derek. And he goes further to the outer side of the ground, and now they've got numbers on in the middle. And this has been good kicking by Queensland, just to hit up targets. Kinch's kick, though, was smothered partially by Hilton. Under pressure now again, the Queenslanders. Good tackling, going through Keane, gathers the football, hand pass out there. Roach trying to get in there as well. And a free kick's been plucked out, going the way of Queensland.
Going Queensland's way.
Yeah. Maybe just getting him a little high in the tackle there. So, free kick for the Queenslanders. Kick comes out towards Merritt. Plays on immediately, over the top here for Boone. He's going to run onto it now. Boone gathers on the bounce and then sets it up towards the pocket area. Good kick in the direction there.
Just went out.
That's all right. My view's slightly obscured here, but
I'll take over then, Andrew.
Good on you, Will.
That was Boone there on the boundary line. He's been pretty good for Queensland so far, one of the few. They might just win this clearance here. Seddon was underneath it. Boone makes the tackle. Oh, sorry, here's Boone now to make the tackle. Could turn this one over. Plenty of Queenslanders there if they want it. Ball spills free. Here's Spackman to meet it. Scott was there for Victoria. Spills through. This might just work out. Power. Reece Power from the edge of the 50. Good pass. Was that a high tackle? Umpire says no. And it's going to be a boundary throw in 30 metres out from Queensland's goal. So the ruckmen stay in the centre of the ground. A couple of forwards and defenders go up for it. It's a strong tackle there, and it's going to be a ball up just inside 50.
Knocked out by Shaw, down to Scott, got it back towards Williams. Williams' kick around the corner was to the other Williams in the side, Cam Williams. Couldn't quite complete the mark. And pack forms will have a ball up just to forward of centre, or at centre half forward here for Queensland. A goal here, we'll just give him a bit of a lifter before quarter time. Here goes Roach, hand pass over the top for Scott. Quick hand sideways towards Field's end. Wynn rather. He kicks on the left. Down the line, up towards Shaw. With him every step of the way is Daniel. And he's taken over the boundary line, will have a throw in.
I've just found out from Liam Dettering, a journalist up here in Queensland for the NEFL, that Paul Shelton from Morningside is the captain of the Queensland team. So thanks for that correction, Liam. This boundary throw in might go the way of Victoria, but there's plenty of Queenslanders there to meet it. Turnover. Keane on the left, inside 50. It's a poor kick though. Queensland to send it back. That was quick. Now, Power didn't have eyes for it, and the umpires pinged him. So Wynn to run away with advantage. Kick inside 50, if you don't mind. Rice had plenty of space. And he has so many options, he's second-guessing himself. I think he should just have a shot from here.
Distance is the only question, really. The man on the mark stands at about 40 metres. But he does have the breeze, I guess, at his back.
So this is Joel Rice, representing Old Carey. to take the VAFA's lead out to beyond 7 goals. It's a tumbler, won't carry, and it's been spoiled through. So 6-4-40 to Queensland, 1 behind. It's a convincing scoreboard as we reach the 22-minute mark of this first quarter.
So Queensland long down the up the middle, big kick it was, but Townley goes back and takes a comfortable mark. Switches play across to Win, who marks wanted to go, instead is held up. A few players creating leads. Kicks long to the goal square. This has got a big distance on it, but punched away by the Queensland defenders, and we'll have a throw in the left forward pocket. VAFA leading 6-4-40 to Queensland, 1 behind. 22 minutes gone in the first quarter here of this representative match at Burpengary, just north of Brisbane. Thrown in the pocket, Hanley takes clean possession. His kick was smothered off the boot, couldn't quite get it out there. Queensland do well here through Spackman. The pressure's immense though. Hanley went again, couldn't quite get it. Shelton got a little hand pass out. Boundary line, or does it get rushed through eventually? It did go rushed through behind. 6-5-41, the VAFA, Queensland 1 behind. It's a 40-point margin, 23 minutes gone, first term.
So long down the line, this could spill free to Bilton. Spinning out of trouble there is Hare, but he's been tackled strongly. Players want holding the ball and they're going to get it. Maybe a bit harsh there on the big man, Ben Hare. It was a very quality tackle. So to send this back inside, it's going to be Townley. Good spoil there. Umpire deems it touched. Queensland a rebound. Spinning out of trouble. Russ. Handballs to no one. Might have to follow it up. That was Derek. And that is Kinch, but the tackling pressure is immense. Handley holding the ball. Queensland's way. Play on advantage. Off they go. Quick on the outer side. Good kick. Finds Logan. Back to Quick. Logan. They're going nowhere in particular. It's been smothered out of bounds. That just sums up this first quarter for them, really.
Yeah, even when they get a bit of a break, Queensland, they can't quite get it clear, because immediately VAFA players like now, they've got clean possession out the back here, but the pressure, they're just getting worked further and further backwards as they're corralled. Spinning out his way out of trouble, Derek, and bounced off that tackle, got his boot to ball, but again the implied pressure forces him to kick it out of bounds on the full field's end to take the free kick. He's got Roach inboard, but he goes further inboard towards Townley. Hand pass to Howard. Howard was going to be mown down, so he got the hand pass away, chopped off there by Hare. And Queensland now turned it over to come back towards this near side. Williams did really well in the contest on the wing. Hand passes backwards there to Zimbacks. Zimbacks kick around the corner towards Ambrose. Ambrose uses his body well, then tries to go check side towards the top of the goal square. Hanley might try and soccer this through. He does get a boot to the ball, but it hit the behind post, and we'll have a throw in the left forward pocket.
So even with that spare man down there, they're still really struggling to get it out of defence with clean possession. So a boundary throw in right next to the behind post here. Handley in the ruck. Uses his body well. Queensland have a few numbers there. Shelton was there, the captain. Spackman. Strong contest there with Quick. That's Paul who picks it up for Victoria. Handball goes back. Scott. A couple of teammates combine. That's going to travel out of bounds as well. So 25.5 minutes gone in this first quarter. The VAFA still with a 40-point lead.
Thrown in. Williams doing the ruck work for the VAFA. Hilton on hands and knees, gets it out to Overman. His left foot kick is okay around the corner, but it's marked by Kinch from Morningside. Is it 10 players from Morningside in the city? One of 10?
There's plenty.
Kick is a good one, and a good mark taken there too by Ben Merritt from Surfers Paradise. His kick inside is okay too. Back towards Kinch. Who has the mark at half back. This is where they've been breaking down, Queensland, struggling to get it past this line of defence. Truella Takes the mark, gave it back to Kinchu, ran across the ground, kick over the top of it for Derek. Gathers it on the bounce now. Kick inboard is okay for Tomlinson.
So Kinch kept running. That was good football. He's got Daniel on the wing. But right here, they are not able to find a free target. So this is typical Queensland football at the moment. Coming to meet it was Wadsworth. The ball spills out the back. Plenty of bodies there, and it should just be balled up just wide of the centre square. Yeah, there's not much happening in forward 50 for Queensland. Once they get to a wing position, it's a long bomb forward, and the VAFA are good enough to send it back every single time.
Although it looks like there's no loose men behind the play as such at the moment. Everyone's just got a man throughout. Here go Queensland again through Hare. Hand passes back inside there for Johnson. His kick's a good one. Play on as the kick came down the line from Seddon, but the mark is chopped off at half back by Townley. Kick goes towards Scott. Scott wants to come right across goal. Dangerous kick, high kick. Williams is under it though, and he takes the mark. This is Sam Williams from D. La Salle. Kick around the corner was good for Hilton. And they're using the width of the ground well. Hilton's kick was back inboard towards Paul. Paul gathers the football though. He's stripped of him there. Good pressure by Seddon. Queensland have turned it over. Well done. They've got to make a go of it now as they've got the ball in the middle of the ground. Good tackling there. Hand pass out sideways from Askey. Kick comes sideways. They've got the numbers here again, the Queenslanders, through Wadsworth. Kick over the top, punched away by McQueen. Miss Campbell will have a boundary throw-in.
So there couldn't be much time left. 28 and a half minutes gone. This first quarter at Burpee Gary. Still the VAFA by 40 points. It's been a dominant first quarter, particularly the first 5 or 10 minutes. They were kicking goals at will. Big bump there by Askey. Well done there by Bilton. He's at the bottom of the pack. He could get pinged if he's unlucky, but the umpire wants to see it bounce. So, one down there by Victoria. Another ball up. And there's the siren. So 6-5-41 for the VAFA, lead Queensland 0 goals, 1 behind and only the 1 point. 40-point lead, and Andrew, that was pretty one-sided.
Well, it was, and I guess we'll find out when the second quarter gets underway how much the breeze favouring that scoreboard end had an impact. But 11 scoring shots to 1 suggests that the VAFA are just a class above at this stage of the game. Goal kickers for the VAFA. Matt Hanley, the Old Severians forward, has 3. Singles to Cam Howard, who kicked the first of the day, the skipper. Tom Paul from Old Melburnians. And Harry Croft from Collegians make up the VAFA's 6 goals, and just the sole behind so far coming off the boot of Matty Logan for Queensland.
So we're going to leave you here from Burpee Gary. We'll see you in about 5 minutes after the quarter-time break in this representative match between the VAFA and Queensland. See you after the break.
We also have the winner of the Metre raffle going around. So the winner is a green ticket C53. If that was your ticket, green C53, head to the canteen where you'll be awarded your prize.
Welcome back to Burpengary Sports Complex, just north of Brisbane. And Will, it's quarter time. The VAFA right on top, 6-5-41 to Queensland, one behind 1 point. We mentioned the breeze is favouring that scoreboard in which the VAFA kicked with in that first term. Tell you what, I was enjoying the Queensland weather up until about half an hour ago, and this stiff breeze from our broadcast positions right in our faces here, it's just made it a little bit chilly for us commentators.
Our broadcast position is right up in the clouds as well, so we're really feeling this breeze, maybe more so than the players or the spectators, but it is chilly, it is blustery. That is not a good bounce from the umpire to kick off this second quarter. So, like you said, Andrew, 6-5-41 leading Queensland, 0-1, 1 point.
Shaw roves his own ruck work and kicks it out of the middle of the ground up towards Croft, who's just trying to guard the space around the football. Hilton dived in on it, as did Johnson. And we will have a ball up just inside the centre square still. Can Queensland muster to try and get their way back into this contest? This is a good way of doing it. There's a couple of early stoppages just to ensure that the VAFA don't break away and kick quick, easy goals to what so far has proved to be the difficult end to score, and we're going to get a third bounce here in a row. So this new sports complex has opened just this year, I understand?
Yeah, very recently. And
I think Brisbane played here at practice matches in the pre-season.
the Brisbane Lions played the Sydney Swans here, and it got quite a turnout as well. From all reports, it was a really good day, so they might be doing that a bit more often as Queensland burst out through this clearance. It goes just forward of the wing. Well done there by Askey as he tried to take on the opponent. That's a good tackle on the wing. The umpire's going to see that thrown up. So that was Brock Askey. He plays for Palm Beach Currumbin in the local leagues. So Seddon. Handball back to Kinch. That could almost be a high tackle. Holding the ball, says the umpire. Well, that's almost harsh, but
I don't like that. I reckon he guessed on that occasion because we could see him get the hand pass out this side and the camera would have picked it up too.
So that kick goes back to Boone. To Derek on the outer side. He looks further afield. That's a really good kick to Truella. He can double back. He's got a player running for him. This is Johnson. Right outside 50. Gives it height. Could travel all the way here. That might bounce. Oh, it bounces cruelly, but it might work out. Well picked up beautifully by Askey. Smothered off the boot. Gee, that bounced unbelievably.
Yeah, it's not fair, is it? Because we saw earlier in the match bounce through truly for Howard, and then he kicked the first goal of the day on that occasion, not quite bouncing the right way there for Queensland. Shaw, front spot, knocks it down. Another chance here for Queensland. Comes out sideways. And
holding the ball.
Yeah. They're being very hot on that, aren't they?
Had a few of those.
Here goes Tardif, away to Roach. Run a long way, Roach, but keeps down the line up towards Rice, and Paul's first to recover. Hand pass up to Rice, hand pass to Cruz. Cruz, of course, who's just moved down to Melbourne from Queensland. Knows a lot of the players in the side.
Yeah, used to play with guys like Askey and a couple of the guys on the Queensland team today.
I was chatting to him actually in the pre-match meeting out in the middle of the ground about the grass. It's a very different grass to what we get in Victoria on the surface here.
Is it really?
Oh, massively different.
Queensland grass.
Oh, it is completely different. It's very it's wiry sort of grass, whereas in Victoria you get more the individual blades on the ground. But we're talking about the pace of the deck and the way that the ball, whether it bounces, and it's a fast surface, but as you tend to get, compared to Victoria, you tend to get more grass burns up here in Queensland because of that wiry nature of the grass, but you don't get as much mud here, of course. Even when it does rain, it's good drainage. So Queensland come away with it here through Logan. And we're going to have a ball in right in front of our broadcast vision. Excuse me, excuse the listeners and viewers that are watching the broadcast. I cough inadvertently. Unfortunately, I've brought the Melbourne sickness with me as Fields then kicks it up inboard up towards Hanley. Just punched away from him. Paul puts on a good tackle there on Derek. Not going anywhere, and it's locked in about 30 metres out directly in front of goal for the VAFA. So better start this term for Queensland.
Yeah,
VAFA haven't kicked a goal inside the first. I think they had 2 goals inside the first 3 minutes. They haven't managed a goal so far. 4.5 minutes gone in this opening stages of the second term.
So it looks like Matt Truella from Wilston Grange is playing on Hanley now, and as we saw early on in that first quarter, Hanley had kicked his first 3 goals. So a bit tighter on him so far. A bit more positive football. That was a wild handball from Victoria. Ended up in the hands of Howard. Now it's spilled back. This is going to be Roach. Nearly has a shot at goal. Croft puts it across the face. Just outside 50 now. Here's Fieldsend. Has a shot. It's just travelled wide. So that's the first score of the second quarter. Only a minor for the VAFA. 6-6-42. Still leading Queensland comfortably. 41 points. Kick out from Queensland. He can go for a run here. This is Shelton, the captain. Spills the ball. Met strongly by a couple of Victorian players. And we'll have a ball up. So that was Paul Shelton there from Morningside, who I said the captain of Queensland. He was on the Brisbane and Hawthorn list at some stage in his career. Played 3 years in the VFL for Coburg as well. As we see the ball travel towards Queensland's goal, just on the wing here.
Well, we're discussing off air in the break there, Will, about the makeup of this Queensland side, whether any of them play at a higher level, that being the NEAFL. Obviously the club sides that are represented here aren't in the NEAFL at the moment. But I understand there's a few out there, so there's some good footballers there for the Queenslanders as Williams comes away with it for the VAFA up towards Hanley again, and that's a good mark.
Is it Truella? Yeah, it is.
By Truella against Hanley, and he gives it off, and Queensland come away through Boone. Kicks a good one to the outer side of the ground. And they send it long down the line. Tomlinson it was with the kick up towards the wing. Just bounced over the head of everyone. McQueen Miss Campbell tried to knock it to advantage. Couldn't do so. Came out the back here towards Boone, who kept running and got the ball up towards half forward. And as we've mentioned a couple of times, Queensland putting in a much better effort this term.
They're unlucky their first 5 minutes was so poor, because really since the last 10 minutes of the first quarter, it's been almost level. But in saying that, they're yet to kick a goal, so it's not like they'd be winning.
Well, there's that whole side of it, the mental side of it, of just being on the scoreboard and getting your first goal. You go to the VAFA through Ambrose, who won the best on-ground medal in the VAFA's last representative match against the Eastern Footy League. Of course, on the Essendon VFL list, his brother Pat Ambrose made his debut for the Bombers in round 1 this year and played last night in Sydney. Howard had a couple of running bounces on the outer side, kick to the hotspot. Here's Tommy Paul from Old Melburnians, their skipper. Can't quite gain possession. Well done though by Queensland through Spackman. And they can relieve and they go out through the middle, but again that skill error just costing them there as McQueen Miss Campbell charges through the middle of the ground. Spackman goes in again hard for Queensland, wrapped up in the middle of the ground. Just that kick there costing Queensland a chance to break free.
Basic skill errors, but how good was McQueen Miss Campbell bursting out of defence like that? So this is going to end up with Kinch on the left. 2008 Grogan medalist Kinch. Tries to put it forward. It's going to be turned over by Caven, sorry.
Yeah, you're right.
First time I've seen his name today. Even further wide, he's got Roach. Inboard is Keane. Drops a mark he probably should have taken, but it shouldn't matter. This is Wynn. Look at this link up from Victoria. Clinical in nature. Here's Hanley. Well done though by the Queensland defender. Follows up his tackle, Truella. Trying to burst his way through. Could have been in the back. Ball's going to hover around here for a moment. Just spills free. Daniel's there to make a tackle. Spackman does well. Relieves the pressure. And now Tomlinson is going to be able to rebound.
Kicks a good one to the outer side. Seddon just couldn't quite haul in the mark though. Roach putting pressure on him. Hand passes over the top to Keane. Keane on the right boot up towards centre half forward, and Ambrose takes the mark. He was going to go and then he elected against it. Now sends it to the lead of Hanley. He's forced to punch on that occasion and he's going to be pinged for chopping the arms. Free kick to go to Queensland there through Boone. Boone's kick is wide to the outer side of the ground and Seddon gathers on the bounce, kicks it long down the line, and that's a great pass there to Jamie Hackett. So Hackett, off a step, kicks long to the pocket, to the leading direction there of Bilton. Can't quite gather it, it's tight against the boundary line over boundary, throwing 25 metres around, right under that scoreboard that says the VAFA 6-6-42 lead by 41 points over Queensland. One behind. The VAFA have just kicked the one minor score this term.
So 10 minutes into the second quarter. Boundary throw in. One down by Shaw. This could be a shot for goal from the pocket. Something about it. Put another behind on the board for Queensland. I didn't quite make out who it was. So it's going to be a kick out for Victoria. He sends it long down the line. That's a good kick. Finds a teammate very comfortably. So that was Keane. Handball's inboard. He's got Williams. Further down the line, inside the centre square now. Croft gives it to Scott. And Scott has got Rice. So Rice had a set shot in the first quarter that was unsuccessful, and that kick is similarly unsuccessful as he kicks it straight to Boone, who has Ben Merritt on the outer side.
They've done well with Queensland in stopping that service to Hanley, haven't they? By just dropping that number back in the hole, and it's thwarted a number of attacks from the VAFA.
It's the one thing that's really worked for them so far. So this is 4. Sends it inside 50. Running for it was Bilton. That's a big contest. Well done there by the Victorian player, but it's turned over by Reece Power from Morningside. Puts it towards goal. Another minor score. So they're having a few shots now. Brings it back to under 40 points. It's a 39-point margin. 11 minutes into the second.
So kicking in duties, Overman goes to the pocket and Townley. Townley's kick's okay, finds Zinbacks. Zinbacks to his Collegians teammate in Scott. Scott goes down the line to his Collegians teammate in Croft. Of course, there are 5 Collegians players in this side today. They're the most represented club in the VAFA lineup today. Scott hacks one off the ground, down the line up towards Rice. It's well done by Rice. He's going to get a free kick. It's going to come back though. There's free kick going the way of Queensland. I'm not quite sure what that was for. Boone will take the free kick for the Queenslanders.
Let's assume it was a bit of talk to the umpire or something, because I can't quite make out what that was for either. So Boone, it's a good kick, direct pass. So that was to Merritt, the son of Roger Merritt, Ben Merritt, on the Southport list.
Yeah, I saw Roger just wandering around the ground earlier.
So Nick Wynn for Old Zavarians. That's a very strong intercept mark by Nathan Quick for Broadbeach. So they can set up from here, a bit of an overlap. Here's Seddon, inside 50. He's got targets, he goes himself. Probably should have passed. He had a couple of players begging for the ball. Particularly Lachlan Ross found a bit of space inside forward 50. So that's 3 shots in a row that could have got them their first goal, but they're unsuccessful thus far.
Tardif to the outer side and Scott, little dribbler around the line, up towards Rice, who hand passed it back in towards Hilton. Hilton's kicks a good one towards Croft. Croft to Howard. Howard on his left, kicks to the pocket and Fields End. Oh, what a good mark that was from Fields End. Just hauled it in one-handed, diving away to the pocket. He's got Ambrose on in the middle of the ground if he wants to use him. Doesn't. I think he's going to go back and have a shot. One of the co-captains from D. Larcell is Matty Fields End this year. Spent a lot of time at on a VFL list, and he's back full-time at D-Lar this year.
So this set shot, it's a difficult pocket, this one.
First real opportunity for the VAFA to score this term. Oh, he's mongreled the kick into the goal square. Hanley puts some big body pressure on in the contest. Queensland have numbers on the last line of defence. They work it out through Quick. Hand pass goes back to the goal square and Seddon, is it? Daniel, who's running out of defence and kicks it long, but the VAFA have set up that wall.
That bounce.
Bounce eluded them, and it's going to work out well here for Queensland as they stream through the middle of the ground. Here's Seddon now. Kicks up towards the full forward direction. Tried to work his man under it there, and being held possibly without it was Bilton. Bilton still working hard against outnumbered, and Bilton's done really well here for Queensland. Strong tackle laid on, and he managed to hold up the ball well because the VAFA had numbers. And I reckon he probably could have got a free there for a little jumper ball when he didn't have possession.
A bit unlucky was Bilton, and the kick wasn't to his advantage, so he did well to bring it to a neutral position as Williams tries to earn this clearance. Good kick to Overman, and they can play on from here. A lot of run now for Victoria. Shaw turns it over. Ball comes out to Quick. He's got Kinch. Kinch sends it long. Who's there for Queensland? No one.
Caven.
Tom Caven takes a very strong defensive mark, and he sends it wide for Victoria to send it outside defensive 50.
Zimbacks to Hilton. Hand pass to Wynn. Ran past him and speared a ball to Hanley, and this is the first time that Hanley's been able to lead at the ball since early in the first term, because Queensland have done so well just dropping that extra man back into that hole in front of where he was leading out. But the fast transition of play from one end of the ground to the other allowed Wynn to spear a ball into Matt Hanley. Man on the mark stands on the 50-metre line, so it'll have to be all of Big Chopper Hanley's best to make the distance here. But he is a long kick.
He's kicked 3 so far today, Matt Hanley. Representing Old Zavarians from 55. It's going to fall short. Spoiled through. No, just across the face. And he's somehow kept it inside. No, he hasn't. So I think that was...
Rice who?
Rice.
Yeah.
Joel Rice tried to kick that in, but the boundary umpire spotted the ball travelling out of bounds.
Rice spent a fair bit of time playing in the Waffle in Perth. He won a Woodrow medal, which is the VAFA's Premier Section equivalent of the Brownlow, if you like, in 2004 while playing for Marsland, as Roach snaps a check side kick out of the pack there, and it goes through for a minor score. And now Rice playing at Old Carey in Premier B.
So back out to a 40-point lead. No, sorry, still 39. I thought the scoreboard was going to tick up there. So Paul Shelton, captain for Morningside. Morningside on top of the ladder in the Queensland Leagues. Percentage of over 200, so they've been dominating this season, as is evident from the 10 players on the list today for the QAFL. So Tomlinson, a Morningside veteran, Nick Tomlinson. He's played 200-plus games for the club. Queensland rebound. Ryan Johnson, another Morningside player. He goes further up the line. That's a good kick. Just evades the hands of his teammate.
Looks like we're going to get a bit of Little League at half-time here, are we? It's got the
We see that sometimes at NEFL level, actually.
bit of Oz kick or something like that. A few youngsters out on the ground having a kick, which is good to see.
On the wiry surface.
On the wiry surface, yeah. A couple of our guys were actually saying as well when we're in the middle of the ground, it's the first time they've played on a ground where there's no cricket wickets in the middle. So, of course, all our grounds in Victoria generally are dual occupied with cricket in the summer and footy in the winter. But as Tyson Cruz, the Queenslander playing in the Victorian side, said, as Queensland try to work it out off halfback, he said that they've got so much space up here in Queensland, you tend to have more separate AFL grounds than separate cricket grounds as well.
That's probably true.
You don't have that cricket wicket in the middle of the ground, so it'd be nice for these players, particularly the ruckman, who get such grazed knees playing on the hard cricket wickets in the middle of the ground. Here come Queensland away from that clearance. Well done by 4. He's worked it up towards half forward. This is a good mark here from Abbey. And his kick smothered there by, kicked it into the man on the mark by Caven. Caven just hand passed it out, going back in Kinch. And a pack form.
Could have been a high tackle.
Queensland, they've had an opportunity, just have tended to, whether it be the pressure or the pressure of the situation, cough it up and force either another contested ball situation or a turnover to the VAFA. We're going to get a secondary bounce here as well.
Just as you were saying about the ground without the cricket wicket, you could almost argue that this is a nicer surface than the Gabba itself up here in Brisbane. It's a custom-made AFL field, and there's been plenty of complaints from ruckmen over the years of the surface of the Gabba with the cricket wicket.
Yeah, I wonder how long that'll last. I know now that Adelaide Oval's being used in the AFL, they've got rid of the cricket wickets in the middle, so it'll be drop-in wickets there.
Drop-in. one by one they're disappearing as Victoria rebound from 50. Out wide, this is Rice. Good tackle there by Boone. And he can make some space for himself. That's a poor kick. It's a very poor kick by Boone. No one in particular. So Tom Overman for St Bernard's. Kicks it down the wing. Taken just inside the boundary line there by the Victorian player in Townley. So Townley looks inboard. Dangerous kick, could be chopped off. Here's Power. Reece Power picks it up well, evades his defender. This kick's gone to Shelton. There's a bit of space now. They might just get their first goal of the game. That's a strong mark taken by Jamie Hackett. So could this be the infamous first goal of the game for Queensland?
We certainly are going to get some Little League as well. All the kids lined up, ready to go. Looks like the Bulldogs are taking on...
the Caboolture Lions, I believe.
The Caboolture Lions.
Played the Caboolture Lions a few times in my junior career as well. As he puts it through the middle, there's the first goal of the game.
Fantastic.
Finally on the board, Queensland. It's taken a quarter and 20 minutes to get there. But that was good play by Queensland. Through Shelton and a few teammates. They worked it through the centre and found a target inside 50. And so Jamie Hackett kicks the first goal of the game. A Morningside player, Jamie Hackett.
Well, first goal this quarter as well.
That's a good point. Hadn't noticed that. I think
such a blitz-like opening from the VAFA. We haven't had a goal for a while. And it's a good result for Queensland. We're going to have a couple of games going on this. Looks like there's some demons down there as well.
You're really excited, Andrew.
We don't get this at games. You only really see the Auskick games going on at AFL grounds at half-time. So it's quite interesting. And now we're going to have a secondary bounce here with the umpire bouncing the ball. We have to throw it up on this occasion. I think this is great stuff. It's just a shame that I think we're going off air, don't we, at half-time? We can't show you some of the pictures. So thrown up in the middle. Shaw knocks it out, but beautifully taken by Shelton for Queensland. As the captain drives it forward, up towards half-forward. Townley leading in the race for the ball. Tries to paddle it, might want the boundary. He's got Zimbacks in support, and that could be deliberate. Yep.
Yes.
And he's paid deliberate. He has been consistent at least.
That's true.
Umpire David Lapierre. He's the Victorian umpire here with the two other umpires out there from the Queensland competitions.
So we saw Shelton with that clearance there. He's the man, I think. He's the one they really want to find their spark from. As Johnson kicks it to the man I'm talking about, Paul Shelton, the captain. He's got Spackman. Spackman's got a good kick on him. He was on the Lions list at one point in his career. The rookie list, I believe. So he can send this pretty long. Elects to go wide to Daniel. And they go back. They want to set up here because there's not going to be very long left. Oh, it's 22 minutes. There's plenty of time to set up an attacking option. So Shelton. Disciplined kick. Well chopped off. And that was Cam Williams for the University Blues.
Goes to his Blues teammate in Townley. Blues on top of Premier B at the moment. Just they're one of those clubs that have got a massive percentage, over 200 as well, but they have dropped the game, interestingly, to the bottom side in that section, old Ivanhoe, in about round 3. Hand pass from Keane to Scott was a good one, who goes to Roach by hand. His kick goes up towards full forward, and Cruz tries to paddle the mark, can't quite get it. Chance now. Here's Roach putting pressure on. Good bump in the side. Shaw's there too. And Queensland, with numbers, have worked it out nicely. Spackman did well. Kick over the top there. Tomlinson couldn't quite haul in the mark. Here's Shelton. Hare as well. Good pressure by Ambrose. Hand pass to Keane. Keane loves a goal, and he kicks the first goal of the term for the VAFA. Paddy Keane from St Bede's Mentone Tigers gets the VAFA's 7th. They go to 7-7-49. As I mentioned, first for them for the term. Queensland 1-4-10, back to a 39-point margin.
Well, that hurts. Just when they got their first goal on the board and they'd kept the VAFA goalless for some period of time, and they hit back immediately. So Patrick Keane becomes another goal scorer for the VAFA. At the moment it's Handley with 3. 1 for Keane, Croft, Paul and Howard. While for Queensland the only goal scorer, as you saw just before, was Jamie Hackett. So bounce in the centre. Tackled there by Shelton. trying to create something for his side. Queensland will win the clearance. Done all right this quarter, Queensland. They'd love one more.
Good play.
Here's Lachlan Russ. Follows up his ball. It's been turned over. That's unfortunate for Queensland, as Keane might be able to find some space here. Taking on Spackman, goes to ground. Well picked up there by Ambrose, but turned over again. Russ finds a teammate. This could be another shot for goal. Looks okay. Just travelled through for a behind. 1-5-11. Behind by 38 points. So 24 and a half minutes gone, almost 25 minutes gone. Last quarter went for about 28. That's a massive mark over the back. You've got to pay it, umpire, and he does. It'll go to John Shaw, the ruckman.
It's his first game in a month, actually, Shaw, because he was suspended for some front-on contact a couple of weeks ago, so hasn't played a club game for the last 3 weekends before today.
It's been a bit good showing from him so far.
Keane got it to Scott. Scott's had a lot of ball across half-back as well. Kicks a good one up towards Croft. Good defensive play by Queensland. Mopping up there is Tomlinson. Kick around the corner's a good one there for Daniel. Daniel's hand pass back inside there for Merritt. Merritt went by hand over the top to the power. Kick goes up towards half forward, punched away by Caven. And we'll have another boundary throw in just in front of that scoreboard. Reading 49 to the VAFA, 11 to Queensland as we approach half-time.
Boundary throw in. 30 metres out for Queensland's goal. They'd love one more heading into the half-time break, just to give them a bit of a spark. All Victoria with hands on it. That was McQueen, Miss Campbell. Here's Wynn. Kicks to the wing.
Keane.
So Patrick Keane, as the wind just starts to get a tiny bit more blustery. It's freezing up here on the commentary box. Might find a jumper at half-time. This is Tom Roach for Old Carey. Looks inboard. Good kick. No, just evades his opponent, his desired teammate. Ryan Johnson. Handballs backwards. This is Ben Merritt. Wide handball. Well done by Queensland. This might work out. Kinch. Couple of players linking up. Kinch once again. Oh, he's got a spare teammate inside 50. Should take the mark. Plays on. Good pass. No, nearly a mark to Russ. No, it wasn't Russ. It was Hackett, the only goal scorer today. That ball's just travelled out of bounds. Unlucky to Samuel Fort.
He is the tallest boundary umpire I've ever seen. I hope you're getting a decent shot of that, our cameraman here, because he is a giant. Knocked out from the throw-in. Little kick out from Wynn. Gains some metres for his side. Howard gathers. Hand pass to himself around the boundary. Tried to win possession back. Well done there on that occasion by Boone. Good contest between those two players, and we'll have a boundary thrown right in front of our broadcast position.
It's clever by Howard. Nearly worked out. So boundary throw in. Hare and Shaw once again. Kent Abbey was there to see it over the line. Of course, Kent Abbey broke his leg last year and has kicked 5 goals or more in 5 of his 8 games this year. So, recognised goal kicker coming into the match as he just runs off onto the bench. Hopefully he can have a big impact in the second half for Queensland's sake as Hilton turns it over, and that's going to go out of bounds as well. Another throw in. No one wins the tap. Hilton finds a bit of space. He's got Ambrose. Follows up his ball. Should have been a high tackle against Matthew Logan, and it is. So Ambrose. Siren should go momentarily, you'd think. 28 minutes, 30 seconds gone. Down the line. That was a good kick. Croft. Kicked the 1 goal today. Sees that over the line as well.
So we'll have a throw in, right half forward. Just the 2 goals, 1 each this term for both sides. Thrown in Shaw, knocks it down towards Overman, can't quite get it. Picked up there by Shelton, nicely done. Hand pass came out towards Spackman, but his kick goes out of bounds on the full, and the free kick will go to Hilton right on centre wing. He's going to have to go back behind his mark, unfortunately.
Well off the mark. Spackman's been good for Queensland, despite that kick out in the forward. It's probably been their busiest so far.
Kick inboard to Townley. These wings very wide as well, so there's so much space for the players to work in. Kick is going to fall into the hands of Cruz, who marks on his chest. I'm not sure what's happening here. He's actually just getting a bit involved in the game. Players just want to get on with it and play. So here's Cruz. Kicks a long left football up towards the full forward spot. Big fly. No one can haul a mark in. Shaw's there trying to do the roving. Paul tries to get a kick at goal. Howard does. And Howard snaps a goal.
That's splendid.
So the skipper gets his second for the VAFA. He's got 2 today, Cam Howard. He gets their second of the term. 8-7-55 of the VAFA, leading Queensland 1-5-11. 30 minutes gone in the second term.
Yeah, just when I thought it was going to be Queensland getting the upper hand of the second quarter, the VAFA have pushed it out to what I believe is the biggest margin of the day, 44 points. So that was a wonderful finish by Howard. Such good goal sense. Number 1, the captain for Old Carey. There's a few players for Old Carey out there today.
Yeah, 4 Old Carey, 4 Old Zavs, and 5 Collegians in the side.
The umpire bounces it again. Hare gets a hand on it, but it's Fieldson who's going to run away. Derek's there to meet it for Queensland. Paddles it out to the boundary line, and there's a siren. So that 44-point margin we were talking about is going to see us out for half-time. It is the VAFA, 8-7-55, Queensland 1-5-11. Leading goal scorers so far, Matt Hanley, still with just the 3. He didn't get one that quarter. Only 1 shot for goal. Howard kicked his second, as you just saw, and singles to Tom Paul, Harry Croft and Patrick Keane. While for Queensland, it is only Jamie Hackett who's gotten on the board with his 1 goal. So we're going to leave you here at Burpengary. It's a pretty one-sided contest, but let's see if Queensland can string something together in the second half. So, like we were saying, the VAFA leading Queensland by 44 points.
Public to stay off of the main arena during the entire half-time break. During half-time, there will be some junior football matches played by some of the local kids playing for local football clubs in the area.
Welcome back to Burpengary for this second half of the representative game between the VAFA and the Queensland representative team. I'm Will Ralston here with Andrew Lennon for the second half. Fingers crossed this one's a bit more competitive as Queensland win the first clearance through Shelton. But it's been turned over immediately as Victoria sent it back, but it's been chopped off once again. So, Victoria to mop this one up. That was Roach, handballs inboard, turned over once again, and this is Logan in defence. Switches across the ground, Hilton's going to chop that one off in the centre circle. So back and forth footy so far. Zimbax has a teammate. Rice takes a bounce, puts it inside 50. Well read though by the Queensland defender in Truella. Just getting in front of Handley there. And he can handball wider to Logan.
It breaks away back to Truella. And his kick goes wide out to the outer side of the ground. Zimback's there to mop up. Hand pass inboard to Rice. Goes to Hilton. Hilton sends a right foot pass, beautifully done, into Tom Paul, and he can go back and line up for the first goal. Now, waiting to have a little listen to what the VAFA coach Simon Lethlean had to say at half time. Yeah. He just said 25 minutes of solid effort, have a break, and then go 25 minutes again, because I think he was a bit unhappy with the way that the VAFA allowed the Queenslanders to get their hands on the ball as much as they did. Paul, from 35 metres, pops it through for his second of the day. And the first goal of the second half goes the VAFA's way. They go to 9-7-61, margin out to 50 points over Queensland. 1-5-11.
Yeah, I'm a bit nervous, to be honest. I think this game could get pretty ugly pretty quickly if the VAFA get the ball into the hands of the right people. And there's a lot of quality ball users here.
So umpires to get this going again. Oh, that's a bad bounce. That's the worst we've seen so far. I reckon they should just get down to throwing it up.
Well, that's what we said in the last game between South Queensland and North Queensland. There were some miserable bounces there.
Thrown up. Who won that game in the end, actually? As Hare got to knock out. We'll just wait for the next stoppage before you share that. Comes out the back here for Tomlinson. He kicks it long up towards half forward. But Queen Miss Campbell's going to be first there. He's just pushed off the ball. Good play by the Queenslanders as they got there in numbers. Zimback's trying to paddle the ball out towards the boundary line. Roach over the football as well. Pack forms, no, slap free. He goes win. He couldn't quite take clean possession either. Zimback's is there as well, as is Bilton. And now the umpire calls for a bounce. So who got up in that one?
Yeah, the curtain raiser for this one. So North Queensland versus South Queensland. It was the Northerners that got away to an early lead and they ended up winning by less than a goal. So, no, it was by a goal exactly, actually.
As Roach comes away with it, just pushes his man off and then delivers a lovely pass up to Tom Paul. Hand passes away to Cruz, who was running past. He goes on his left up towards Croft, who just had his jumper held a little bit. No free kick. Croft with a couple to beat as Truella left his man to come and help out his teammate there in Merritt. And we'll have a ball in. Sorry, that was Quick, who's going with Harry Croft at the moment.
Truella did well there. He went off his man in Handley and nullified the contest as he needed to. So ball in, 50 metres out from the VAFA goal. It should go out of bounds as well. No, it's going to stay in momentarily through Williams. He's tackled strongly, holding the ball should be called, and it is. So they can play on from here. That's a bad fumble from Bilton. But he gets it back, takes a bounce, draws a player. Well played, Bilton. This is Kinch. Got a bit of room here. He had Askey wide if he wanted him, but he went longer. The Queensland forward forced to spoil. Here's Russ. Now he's got Askey. That's a big tackle. Russ picks up the loose ball. A couple of players lining up. Kinch, he's got Hackett. The only goal scorer today. This is Askey. He's missed. Really should have scored that.
Gee, that's a bad miss, isn't it?
Plenty of space there on the right foot. Could have even straightened up a tiny bit more if he wanted to. In a game where you've only kicked 1 goal 5, as a half of football player, you want to do better than that.
Townley kicks into the near side, goes to himself, was intended for Overman. It's lucky he did kick it to himself because... It's lucky he did kick it to himself because it went out of bounds without touching any player.
Yeah, a couple of Queenslanders don't know the rule there. Wanting the ball back, but...
Well, it was because once you kick it to yourself, the ball's in play. So, thrown in. Here's Overman, can't quite get it there. So, was that an expected result, that result for North Queensland to beat South Queensland?
To be honest, I was unfamiliar with a lot of the North Queensland players, so I wasn't sure what sort of performance they'd deliver, but it looked like quite a tight-knit group. They were good performers all day.
Sure. Out to Fields End. He got it to Overman, to Williams by hand. This is Sam Williams from De La Salle. Kicks it up towards Croft, and he takes a strong mark at centre-half forward. Numbers streaming forward. Hilton's one of those. He goes out to the space. Rice might get on the end of it, though, and he does. So Rice marks at 30 metres out. Now, he had a shot from about 40 metres, or 45 metres. He had to kick it in the first term. Didn't quite get the distance. This one's a bit closer, so he should make the journey this time.
Yeah, Joel Rice yet to trouble the scorers so far. So like you said, I think this might be his third set shot today. He'll be taking it from about 35 metres out. So Joel Rice comes in. Looks pretty good. Looks very good. And he gets his first goal of the game. Another goal scorer for the VAFA as they push the lead out to now 55 points. 10-7-67 leading Queensland 1-6-12.
And then we've got another match coming after this as well, which I imagine they'll need to turn the lights on for. It's the ladies Brisbane Lions team versus the ladies Gold Coast team.
That's right. We might need the lights in this last quarter, actually. The lights just starting to fade here in Burpengary. Can't speak highly enough of the facilities here at Burpengary, just north of Brisbane, if you're unfamiliar where that is.
Oh, the commentary box is a bit substandard. As it's back in the middle, crashing through Merritt, couldn't quite get it. Centre break for Queensland, but the kick is chopped off by Nick Wynn at centre half back for the VAFA. Kick wide to the outer side and Cruz. If he wanted to play on immediately, wants to get back to his left boot and does so now. Look at that penetrating kick up towards half forward. Croft under. Strong mark by Croft at centre half forward. He's played a really good game. Kicks it to the space and Hanley. There is Ambrose as well. First to the ball at the fall of it is Fields End, who spears a pass backwards towards Hilton. Two kicks from home still, and Paul was left unattended. Runs to 35 metres and kicks a goal. So fantastic play from the VAFA, just to create the space, and then Paul found himself on his own, and he strolled in to kick his third of the day.
Yeah, I think it's just started to come undone now for Queensland. Tom Paul for representing old Melburnians in Victoria. And that's pushed it out to a 61-point lead early on in this third quarter. So he's now drawn level with Matt Handley, 3 goals apiece.
Well, the sort of stuff the VAFA was saying in the rooms of players was saying it's only 6 goals at half-time, so they can still come back, and they had that genuine sort of belief that Queensland weren't out of the game. It's almost beyond doubt now, with the margin creeping out to 61 points, as you mentioned.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine Queensland mounting much of a fight back from here. It'd be good to get a few goals on the board for them, because they've been up there enough. As Victoria win this one away. This is Wynn, takes a bounce on the outer side. Now it's going to go inside 50 to Hanley. Well chopped off there by Tomlinson. Oh, Paul out of trouble. Oh, he's kicked another. 2 in a minute. Well done, Tom Paul. And he's kicked his 4th. He's become a real headache.
Well, 3 of those have come this term, and that one was an absolute beauty. That's the best of the lot. A real opportunist, front and centre goal. And the funny thing is, as you get in representative sides, he's an on-baller, a midfielder for old Melburnians, but he's playing that forward pocket role magnificently, because you find that you pick the best players to make the rep side, and they find themselves in unfamiliar territory. It's a bit like some of the defenders as well. Townley playing in the back pocket is not normally a back pocket player for his club.
Yeah.
As well, so it's the VAFA who continue on their merry way, margin 67 points.
It also emphasises the quality of the VAFL midfield if they've got someone like Tom Paul, the luxury of playing in the forward pocket. This ball's going to be balled up in the centre circle once again.
I'm sure if you spoke to Tom, he'd like to have some time in the midfield, but I think at the end of the day they'll be happy just to be in the side and to play in a win and come up to Queensland and get a win in this representative match.
Good mark. Play on, says the umpire, not 15. Had plenty of height. About 30 metres up in the air. So it's going to be another ball up in the centre square. 10 minutes into this third quarter. Victoria winning away. That was Zimbac's. Wide handball, well intercepted there by Tomlinson. Sorry, it was Askey. Oh, Shelton came in loose over the top. Ball spilling free. This is Scott. Handball back to a teammate. Hasn't Croft put his mark on the game in this third quarter so far. Ball comes free to Overman. That's a bad kick. Like he was trying to pinpoint someone in the crowd. And I think they might have a spare footy down there somewhere because that's gone into...
What is that little gated area?
It's a small fenced off area. It might be a drainage facility or something like that. I'm just guessing, Andrew, but someone's going to have to jump that fence. So the ball will come to Spackman. Cameron Spackman, rookie listed Brisbane Lions player at one point, like I said before. To his Morningside teammate in Tomlinson. And that's a bad kick as well. He is not happy with himself. And so it's going to come back to Overman, Tom Overman, to take the kick.
Obviously it must get a lot of rain here, I'm guessing, through the summer months in that rainy period, because the drainage around the ground is unbelievable. A big drain going all the way around the ground.
It is, isn't it? It's like a moat on the outside of the ground as big Matt Hanley.
A pass into Hanley. Hanley, we haven't seen him be able to have a set shot for a while.
How old would Matt Hanley be?
He's 27, I'm going to say.
So I should have given you a heads up before popping a trivia question on you, but looks pretty experienced, Matt Hanley, and he's been good in front of goal so far when he's had the opportunities, but that one pushes to the left. So only a minor score, taking them up to 12-8-80. Still comfortably in front, 68-point margin.
And even looking at the ground, there must be very odd because there's a massive slope on the ground. I'm not sure if you've seen that. You can stand in one goal square to the other goal square. You can't see the opposite. If there's a goal umpire at the other end, you can't see their waist. You know? You can only see them from their waist up. Well, you can't see their legs. So.
Absolutely. It's similar to the Gabba as well. The Gabba's known as one of the best draining grounds in the country, particularly in cricket season.
As the pass comes out, hold on there on that occasion by Hare. Kick around the corner for Queensland. Clears the defensive line, but only as far as Hilton, who got it to Zimbac's, his collegian's teammate, who pumps it back inside, but a strong mark taken there by Nathan Quick. Really good mark for Queensland. His kick goes wide, and it comes here for Derrick. It's Matt Derrick. He's got the mark in the back pocket. He goes wide over towards Kinch. Plays on. Takes the man on and delivers the ball along the boundary line. That's nicely done there to Logan. He plays on, and Queensland are moving the ball with good purpose here. Taken there by Addy. Hand pass over the top, just a fumble, and we've seen that a couple of times, and it causes the turnover now. And the VAFA can respond. They're going to go right across the ground. Williams goes to Rice, goes to Win in the middle of the ground. Win hand pass to Roach. Roach, little left foot kick. It was okay for Croft. Roach gets it back. He kept running and spears a pass to Hanley, and Hanley takes a mark on his chest. That was beautiful play.
How well did they do that? The turnover was on the other side of the ground in defence, and they switched it so clinically, and players just broke free in all different parts of the ground. And just the skill level, that's the major separating point between these two teams.
Well, Roach, of course,
Played both at Richmond and spent a lot of time in the WAFL in Perth as well. As we watch Hanley kick from right on the 50, and he's tugged this one left as well for his second behind today. He's got 3 goals, 2 today as Matt Hanley. All his 3 goals coming in that opening term. VAFA moved their score on 12-9-81 to Queensland 1-6-12.
So 4 gives it back to Derek. Going wide. We've seen a lot of this today. Logan just trying to get out of defence, trying to create something, but it often just ends up being a long kick down the line. But that was a very good pass as Logan bursts out of defence. Here's Shelton. He's been admirable so far. 4 in the centre circle. Long kick forward. Here's a bit of space now for the forward. That's a very good mark. Could be 50, to be honest. No, it's just going to be a mark. So this is Hackett, the only goal scorer for Queensland. That's a very good pass. Well done, Jamie Hackett. And he's found his teammate in Matthew Logan. He was involved in a couple of those plays there, so gut running from Logan.
You mentioned it could be 50. I agree with you. He definitely pulled him down in a professional sense to try and stop him from going quickly if he wanted to play on.
Now, Logan wasn't interested in having the set shot, so this is the captain, Paul Shelton from Morningside. You'd assume he'd be within range. Should be kicking from just inside 50. So, Paul Shelton on the 50, strikes it well, that fades as well. So that is the 7th behind for Queensland. Only the 1 major, and that margin is still pretty convincing at 68 points as Scott receives the kick in.
Tardif takes it from him and kicks it long down the line. That's a good mark on the outer side by Roach, who kicks it inboard to Williams. Williams plays on, and he goes a little chip kick and he's turned it over. Chopped off by Tomlinson, over to Shelton. Hand pass is a good one there for Hackett. Hackett sends it long towards goal. Bouncing ball, and it's through for a goal.
I think she's... Yep, the goal umpire's decided that is a goal.
Lovely goal, and he gets his second, Hackett. And it's also Queensland's second of the day. They got a 2-7-19. The VAFA 12-9-81.
Maybe that's the game plan for Queensland. Just give it to Hackett, have a shot, mate. It's the only thing that's worked so far for them. As they bring the margin back to 62 points, but it's still a massive margin. It's going to be a difficult last quarter for them. So here at Burpengary, 17.5 minutes gone in the 3rd quarter. The VAFA 12-9-81 still leading Queensland 2-7-9. Queensland could win this clearance again. Well done by Russ, finds Shelton. So this is Kinch. Tackle without the ball by Hilton. Doesn't matter, wins the ball back. Throws the ball out the back to Shelton once again. Now, freeing the centre circle is Daniel, but the kick goes over his head. Good pressure there from the Victorian player. Really well played there. That was Ambrose. His teammate infields and receives it. Here's Scott. Back to Ambrose. Swings around. Has a teammate inside 50. Goes over his head. Roach should still have a shot. Roach spins around. Handball towards goal. This will be a goal for sure. Absolutely. Well played, Victoria. And they kick their 13th.
Zimbax was the goal kicker.
Trent Zimbax from Collegians.
One of the most experienced VAFA players. I think he's played almost every rep match for the last 5 years. So,
wow.
Yep. He's up around the 10 or 11 VAFA jumpers. So very experienced rep player. One of the first names down on the team sheet.
So, do you know what the plan is for the Victorian players after this match? Do they hang around in Queensland for a while? Or?
Well, the function I think we have here, we have a dinner function. We'll sit down and all share a drink and a meal with the opposition after this, and then back into Brisbane tonight, have the night in Brisbane and home tomorrow, on the plane tomorrow. So here they go again, the VAFA, through Keane, who gets the clearance up towards half forward. Well done there by the Queensland defenders. Tomlinson in there working hard. Although Croft hand passes out to space. Picked up by Derek. Got it across there to Hare.
And Queensland have worked it out by Shelton, who got it to 4. Shelton gets it back, kicks it long up towards Abbey. He's worked under it by Caven. Caven mops up, hand passes into the middle of the ground and Keane. Keane loops a hand pass over the top to Tardif. Tardif has a bit of dash through the middle, picked up by Tomlinson on the half volley, nicely done. Goes wide out to Kinch on the outer side of the ground.
So Kinch finds a teammate. That was Askey.
Caven, good kick.
Kick was intended for AB. And his kick goes across the field to Hilton. So Hilton can find Scott. It's unlucky for Queensland because they're doing plenty of running. The desire is there. But just when Victoria get the overlap like this is where it really hurts. As Roach approaches the 50, just gets inside, has a wobbling shot for goal over the head of Hanley. Travels through for a behind.
I think he was caught in two minds there, whether to keep going and try and have a shot at goal or just to pop it up on the top of Hanley's head, and he sort of went the in-between option.
Yeah.
And didn't favour anyone, really.
So that was Merritt. Like we said before, Roger's son. Roger Merritt here today. That kick missed the intended target of Nathan Kinch. And so we're going to have another ball in. VAFA 13-10-88, leading Queensland 2-7-19, 21 minutes gone. Ball in. Ben Merritt taking it for Queensland. Ball goes forward for them. Plenty of players there to contest this one. Comes out the back for Victoria. Well, Shark though. Doing a bit of running there. Merritt finds himself with the ball. Kick up the line. Here's Aby. He can't find 4. And so Victoria going to work it out. Zimbax is there. The umpire's spotted something. It's going to go back. Zimbax wanted his kick to be honoured. And so it's going to go back to Will Tardif, another Collegians player. And he finds McQueen Campbell.
Roach again involved. Hand pass over the top to Wynn. Wynn has a bounce through the middle of the ground. Kicks it long to the space and Hanley punched away from him. Couldn't quite haul it in. Queensland do well. They're going to get a free kick and they play the advantage out. Shelton off half back. Spears the ball into the middle of the ground. Goes to the running Bilton. Bilton on the left. Up towards half forward. Puts it in the space in front of Askey. Askey runs onto it now. Runs inside 45. His kick was partially smothered.
Brilliant. Diving
effort across the boot there from Tom Overman.
Isn't
and we'll have
a
boundary throw-in.
In a game where you're leading by almost 70 points, diving smother like that, that's pretty inspiring for his teammates. So this boundary throw-in into a dangerous position for Queensland. Let's see if they can conjure something here. They've only kicked 2-7 for the game so far. This might be a chance. That was 4. Here's a shot. Oh, it's a bad miss by Jamie Hackett, who's kicked both goals today.
They're the ones at the other end, the VAFA, have kicked those half chances. And
exactly.
Queensland have had a number of those, and they really should have made better opportunity of them. Kick into Tardif to win as a bounce. He's run himself into trouble though and coughed it up. Here's Kinch. He just spilt the ball at the inopportune time. Snap, flying shot at goal. Won't quite make the distance. Marked on the last line by Townley. Short to Zimbax in the pocket. Plays on immediately over the top to Overman on the outer side of the ground. Has a running bounce. Then sends a right foot ball. Beautiful pass up to Croft on centre wing. Hand pass in the middle to Howard. Howard on the left. Goes long to Hanley. And what a beautiful pass that is. That's end-to-end stuff for the VAFA. And Hanley can go back and line up and have another attempt at trying to kick his 4th after he kicked 3 in the opening term.
Well, that's the first time since the first quarter that Hanley's really found Trurella out of position. I thought Trurella's played quite a good game for Queensland, keeping Hanley to only the 3 goals so far.
Well, did he have Hanley in the opening?
Maybe he didn't.
I don't think he did.
He probably didn't, to be honest.
I think that was a move made to try and quell him, and he's done really well on him since. Hanley, from 49 metres, has kicked it this time. So that's his 4th. As Matt Hanley, 4 goals, 2 today. 14-10-94 the VAFA. Margin 74 points over Queensland, 2-8-20. 24 and a half minutes gone in the third term. This quarter, the VAFA, they've actually kicked 6 goals this quarter to 1 for Queensland. 6 goals to 1. So that's the sort of sustained effort that Simon Lethlean, the coach, was looking for.
But it's not through a lack of effort for Queensland. You can tell.
Oh no, not at all. I don't think that's. I think I was just asking the intensity to lift from the VAFA side, and that they've done that.
Yeah, the difference is not in desire or intent on the footy. It's just a vast skill level between the two teams. As Merritt tries to win that one down for Queensland, ball goes wide, chasing it is Zimbaks. That's a clever slap. Doesn't quite reach the target though. Bursting through was the Queensland player. Spills out the back. A couple of Victorian players contesting that one. The Queen Miss Campbell was there. And we're going to have a ball up 60 metres out from Queensland's goal. Both ruckmen contest. Bursting through is Russ. It's going to spill out to Hilton. He picks the ball up. Tackled well there. Boone couldn't get his hands on it, so Victoria are going to run away. Plenty of space here, plenty of runners. This could end up with anyone. That was Williams, puts it, oh, so it wasn't, it was Howard. Puts it over the head of Hanley. Hanley could still kick a goal here if he wants to though. Handball's back. Tackle without the ball, doesn't matter. Paul, he's kicked forward today. Is this his fifth? No. Just squeezes it through for a behind. So Tom Paul, he's kicked 4 goals. A couple of behinds today. As Queensland play on quickly.
Marked by Shelton. Comes sideways to Tomlinson, who kicks it long down the line. Here's Bilton. He takes the mark on his chest, plays on. Sends it up towards centre half forward, but Townley read it best for the VAFA. Takes the mark, comes back to this near side and Nick Wynn. He's had a lot of the ball win today. Over the top to Hilton. So Hilton takes the mark, plays on, goes to Howard, draws the player, and hand passes back to Tardif. Smokey Tardif goes long to Croft, who's somehow on his own. I'm not quite sure.
Still on his own.
Runs, plays on, runs into an open goal and misses to the near side.
It's a lucky let off for Queensland because Croft found himself with 30 metres of space there and still no one approached him even once he took the mark.
It was a bit strange. 14-12-96. Margin 76 points to the VAFA over Queensland 2-8-20.
Quick, oh, dangerous kick, but it finds Logan. And this kick should find Tomlinson. And that's going to hit the deck. So Reece Power can't take the mark. Win. Inside 50. Croft again. Somehow finding acres of space, and Hanley, that is clinical. Far too comfortable for the VAFA. And Hanley's going to line up to kick his 5th. Add to his tally. So Matt Hanley, he's wearing a black armband out there today.
Yeah, the old Zavs players, so there's 4 of them out there. So we watch him kick the shot at goal.
Popped it through, too easy. Matt Hanley kicks a 5th.
So the Zavs players, one of their club committeemen sadly passed away suddenly on Friday. It's Tony Hewlett. So the old Zavs players, there was a sudden passing of him, and we were very surprised to hear that, and the Zavs players wearing black armbands in tribute to Tony Hewlett. So Hanley with 5 goals, Paul with 4 are the leading lights. Those 2 playing deepest from the goal square to date, and they've been very good for the VAFA as the margin stretches even further out to 82 points. From the takeaway, here go Queensland, this time through Spackman, who kicks up towards half forward. First to the ball though, there is Townley, although he was just pulled down in the tackle. Seddon got there and did well, Seddon. Hand pass really well out towards Truella, who's up forward and kicks it up towards the full forward, but a strong mark taken by Tom Caven. Kicks it out to Zimbaks. Hand passes to the running Tardif. Tardif, long kick up towards the wing, and Rice takes the mark. So Rice goes short into Fields End. No 15. Play on, said the umpire. Fields End goes now with a left boot up towards the Hanley direction. Can he take a mark? No. Ambrose flew as well. At the fall of the ball, Paul, can he get a 5th? Strong tackle out on Queensland. Might just want to rush it through here. And they don't. And it's going to be a ball up right on the goal line.
You can tell in that contest there that Hanley He knows how to take a contested mark. He's got great body work as we hear that siren go, signalling the end of that third term. The VAFA 15-12, 102, Queensland 2-8-20. Comfortable 82-point lead, and it's just a matter of when this is going to reach triple figures, I'd assume. So we've got Handley on 5 goals for the VAFA, as well as 3 for Paul, 2 for Howard, a couple of singles as well, while Hackett is the only goal scorer for the Queenslanders, 2 to his name. So we're going to leave you at 3/4 time. Is the VAFA leading by 82 points. We'll see you after the break.
At 4:45. The women playing in that game will be fighting for Queensland selection to play against the Tasmanian side in a couple of weeks' time, so it'll certainly be a cracking game of football.
Welcome back to the Burpengary Sports Complex here just north of Brisbane for this representative match between Queensland and the VAFA. It is Victoria leading by 82 points as we enter this last quarter. Spackman tackles Hilton and it's been deemed a throw by the umpire, so they'll get the first clearance of the game. I'm Will Ralston, joined by Andrew Leonard from Victoria, and hopefully we see a bit more of a competitive last quarter to wrap up this game, Andrew.
Absolutely. As Queensland come forward again through Tomlinson, spearing ball in towards Hare at the crumbs is set in. It's chopped off there by Zimbax. Hand pass over the top to Paul, who looks like he's pushed further up the ground. Zimbax kept running through though. Got a little hand pass away there to Howard, who got it to Hilton. And Hilton's kick up towards Croft, who's forced to spoil on that occasion. With him every step of the way, Derek, and Derek does really well on Croft. Queensland with the numbers, although Hilton gets there first, picks it up, gets it to Scott. Scott hand pass out to Keane. Keane shrugs the tackle back to Paul. Overman was calling for it wide. He didn't go in that direction. Cruz in the goal square, one out. Has a couple to beat. First back there for Queensland is Boone. Might want the boundary, and it does go out now. So we'll have a boundary throw in. Right forward pocket, VAFA in attack. They do lead on the scoreboard by 82 points. Let's see what Queensland can muster in this final quarter here from Burpengary.
So the wind is still very much blowing about up here in the commentary box. We are really feeling it in this outdoor broadcast facility. That's a strong tackle. We'll probably see another stoppage here. The umpire will throw it up. So the VAFA have been well and truly dominant today. 5 goals to Hanley, 4 to Paul. As Scott bursts away from the traffic, has a left foot shot at goal. Can he curl it? Yes, he can.
Touched off the boot.
Touched off the boot. Andrew Scott, it was a lovely shot. Didn't quite do it justice with that touch off the boot. Shelton tries to find a teammate on the outer side. It's Askey. He's done well there, Brock Askey. Ben Merritt can handball over to Spackman. Now he can send it long inside 50. That's a decent kick. Oh, that's a ripper of a mark.
Great mark.
Jamie Hackett, the 2 goal scoring forward for Queensland, is the only goal scorer on the board, and I'd almost call it mark of the day, that one in the pocket.
Absolutely. That was a ripper.
And it would take nearly goal of the day if he were to pull this off. Facing the breeze. Starts it on target, no. Just fades to the right of the goalpost. So another minor score for him. 2-9-11 now. Even if they were on target, they'd still be a fair bit behind, but 2-9 is not helping.
No, they've missed a few chances, haven't they? As it comes to Zimbax, who got it to Howard, and his kick has found Hilton, who runs back inboard, has a bounce, has a second bounce, goes by hand to Keane. Keane goes to Howard, who kept running up the ground, sends a long left foot ball up towards Croft. At the fall of the ball, Cruz mopped it up brilliantly. Flying shot at goal across the face for a minor score. So Tyson Cruz, his first score of the day. It's a behind. VAFA 15-14, 104. Queensland 2-9-21.
We mentioned before, Cruz played a lot of football up in Queensland as recently as 5 weeks ago, I believe. He knows a few of these Queensland players he's up against today, and this is Boone. Running out of defence. It's a pretty good kick to his forward target. It's Truella who's been thrown forward for this last quarter. We've been playing on Hanley most of today, but it looks like it's going to be Ben Merritt playing on Hanley for this last quarter. So boundary throw-in, 50 metres out from Queensland's goal. Well shark there. Seddon puts it high. Should be marked. Bad drop there by Queen Miss Gamble. Trying to spin out of trouble there was the Queensland player, just stuck here in the forward line. It's going to be a ball up 35 metres out from Queensland's goal, directly in front. So the VAFA still comfortably in front. 77 points. Here we go. What can they muster from here? Trying to curl it back. That was Logan. Couldn't get enough on it, so it's going to be out on the full. VAFA to take the kick.
Ground reporter has just informed me that Murphy Ambrose is injured. In fact, he's just dislocated a finger, so they're not going to put him back out there for the rest of the game. So we'll just spend the rest of the game watching on as how it comes away from the last line of defence and kicks it wide out to the wing, where Sam Williams from De La Salle picks it up. Hand pass to Zimbacks. His left foot kick along the boundary line. It's forced wide. It's out of bounds on the full. It's unfortunate our massively tall boundary umpire is on the other side of the ground, so
yeah,
and swap sides.
He would be the tallest player out there if he was getting a rush.
Easily.
Some players don't get up to his shoulder.
No.
But just on Ambrose, so that kick was turned over. At three-quarter time, we were concerned that Ambrose might have done a bit more than that, but a dislocated finger is probably a good result because he looked in quite a bit of discomfort as Hilton turns that one over.
I don't know, have you dislocated a finger, Will, at all?
I haven't, but
it is quite discomforting.
At one point, I thought it was a collarbone or something near the shoulder, so at least it's not going to be a season-ending injury or something of that nature.
No, I've had the unfortunate situation of doing it in a basketball game, and very painful stuff.
I imagine it's
very
not fun.
Painful stuff.
Askey sends it forward, should be cut off by Victoria. Clever handball over the top, if you don't mind, by Roach. So they're going to burst through this traffic pretty comfortably. Long left foot kick, that's going to go forward. Should be chopped off by Tomlinson, well trapped. Loose handball though, Scott's there. Once again, you see Hanley out the back. He loves drifting forward. His defender least expects it.
As all good forwards do. They enjoy getting a cheeky one over the back. Here's Fields End from the takeaway. Centres the ball brilliantly up towards Hanley. Oh. Well done. And rightly so, Fields End gets the plaudits from his teammates as he speared that ball into the centre corridor, and Hanley just came out to meet it and took it with open arms.
All class from Hanley. He knows how to take a mark over his head, and he knows how to kick a set shot as well. I'd be surprised if he missed. So that's his sixth.
Yep, Hanley pops it through for goal number 6. He kicked 3 in the first, 2 in the third, and now 1 in the fourth. To have 6 for the day, and I suppose with those sort of numbers, he'd be in contention for any best on the ground honours that might be awarded out in the post-match ceremonies.
He'd be up there. It's hard to pinpoint a Victorian midfielder who's been the most dominant.
I've just been writing down names, and the 3 names I've written down are all forwards. So
yeah.
Because they've been on the end, and because the Vics have just rotated so many players through that midfield at any one time, whether it be Fields End or Rice has been good. Nick Wynn's been great off half-back. Even the half-back line of Tardif's run well, so it's difficult to find the best player on the ground.
It's hard to find a player who hasn't performed well.
This guy's been good. Russ for Queensland, he's been in and under all day, so he gets the clearance on that occasion. Hand pass came out from Seddon. Back towards Daniel, who kicks it up towards half forward, and Hackett almost hauled in the mark. Not paid on that occasion. So 16-14, 110. VAFA playing Queensland 2-9-21.
Boundary throw in. So contesting the ruck are the 2 big men for either side. We've seen a few different combinations floating in and out. Like he said, the coaches are really throwing everyone in completely different positions. We've seen Trarella drift from fullback to full forward. Players playing in different spots they're maybe not as comfortable with. So Queensland win this clearance, but a small skill error there. That was Russ. It was a throw. So it's going to go to Victoria. We're 9 minutes into this last quarter. And like we've been saying, it's just a matter of how much at this stage. So if my maths is correct, it's reached 89 points, the margin to the VAFA. As they send it down the line. Well done there. Zimbacks just broke away from his opponent.
He's been good too today.
He's been, he'd be up there. It's a good defensive mark by Ben Merritt. And he can switch play. He's got Kinch. And Kinch can look further afield. No one particularly underneath it though, and that was far too easily chopped off by Will Tardif. Tardif looks inboard. His target was Scott. Been turned over. Shelton, probably the best for Queensland. At the bottom of the pack, umpire's going to ball it up inside the centre square.
We're hoping for a few more goals from either side just to keep the game going, because you don't want it to sort of peter out. It's difficult.
Yeah.
Players will be wary of getting injured. All teams playing club footy next week. Here goes Russ again. Feeds a hand pass out wide here to Kinch. He's got it through back to Russ. Russ spears a pass up to...
Oh,
gee,
no.
that's a big bump. Caven there on Truella. And a big clash of bodies. And the markers ended up down the ground with Queensland going forward. And that was just an incidental contact. I'm not sure if the umpires are aware. Trainers are out to both players on the ground and players from both sides, as we see Reece Power, who took the mark down the ground. And the umpire's going to let it go.
He's going to let him have his shot. I guess if it's behind, he'll probably ask for the play to stop, but
yeah.
Gee, just as you were talking about, we don't want to see any injuries. That's
Yeah.
the biggest impact we've seen today. As Reece Power pops it through. Well done, mate. Morningside player. So that's another goal to a Morningside player. Hackett's kicked the only other two. Pushes it out to 3-9-27, but gee, Truella, he came off second best in that. But he's up and running. That's good to see. I was worried he'd made a bit of perhaps a concussion or something around his head, but he's just ambling off. Hopefully he'll be fine for a game next week if he were to play one for his club.
It was a big clash, wasn't it?
Yeah, you could hear it from up here. So I've got a score here from an AFL game. It's between the Sydney Swans and the Gold Coast Suns. If you don't want to hear it, turn your volume to mute for a second. It is the Swans 6-4-40 leading the Gold Coast 2-8-20. That one should be very interesting at Metricon.
Back here at Burpengary, all the action. Burpengary?
Burpengary.
Burpengary. You
Yeah.
say Gary, do you? Okay.
Yes, Queensland.
Russ again gets the clearance with the hand pass out, fed it out. The kick came forward towards Abbey. Punched away from him by McQueen, Miss Gamble. Wynn did well to get it to Tardif. Tardif ran on and kicked a long ball down the line to his Collegians teammate in Scott. Scott couldn't quite complete the mark. With him there is Kinch, and he sees it over the boundary line.
Yeah, Burpengary, full bogan pronunciation here up here in Queensland. We don't disguise it with anything else. So boundary throw, roll on the wing. Looked like a high tackle and the umpire's going to give it, so that one is going Victoria's way through the hands of Rice. This is Fields End now. Sells a dummy, handball's wide to Overman. And that's a well-disciplined kick to Scott. Now Scott can give it back to Fields End. He's run well here. The captain, Howard, played well today to Hilton, back to Howard.
He wants his left.
He does too, well picked. He could have a shot from here. Inside 50 now, 45 metres out. Howard's just across the face. That would have been a lovely goal to the captain. So it's 16-15, 1-11. It's Queensland 3-9-27. 84-point lead.
So Queensland working to the outer side of the ground. Here's Bilton, does really well on the bounce to gather the football and running away from his opponent's inbacks, has a couple of bounces and sends it long up towards Power direction, and he takes the mark.
Well done by Power. Finding a bit of space inside
35
50.
metres out directly in front.
It'd be nice for him to get 2 goals in the last quarter.
Great transition of the football from Queensland as well, from the behind all the way up to Power, who's going to have a set shot for goal.
I was going to say it would have been great if we'd seen a bit more of that today, but you'd figure in the last quarter that maybe some of that transition was just from a lack of discipline from Victoria. As Reece Power leans back, puts it offline. So 3-10-28.
Again, the team's bringing in very quickly. Zimbacks to Howard, got it over the top to Keane. He's in a bit of space, but have to wait for the ball to sit up. And the hand pass back inboard to no one in particular, really. Picking it up there is Abbey. Hand pass back inside. There's a chance for Bilton to send it long. Over the top, Caven's going to collect this now. Inside defensive 50, steadies, and sends a kick up to the wing position in Hilton. Running back with a flight. Well done there on that occasion by Logan. Better hand pass back. It ends up here with Spackman. Came from Daniel, and it goes out to Derek. Queensland have got the ball in the middle through Kane to Shelton. Kick smothered by Rice in the middle of the ground. Scott will go in and pick it up. Gets a hand pass out to Roach.
Advantage played. Oh no, play on and turned over here. And Queensland can reload via Russ, who got it out to Tomlinson.
Askey, plenty of space here. Could almost have a shot if he wants it. Decides to go closer to goal to Aby, but that's just going to dribble through from behind. So just that last kick inside 50, every single one has been disappointing today. Obviously not every single one. There's been a couple that have hit their targets, but the marks inside forward 50 would be an interesting statistic. I think it'll be heavily outweighed by Victoria's attempts. So this is Scott in defence. May as well hold on to the footy. You imagine this will be a shorter quarter. There hasn't been many goals so far.
That's true, yeah.
So Croft, bit of space, looks in board. Should be chopped off, but it's not going to be. Williams does well. He's got Roach. Now where is Hanley?
Oh,
he gets a hand on it, has a right foot snap, but it looked ugly off the boot. Had no shape on it whatsoever, so that is going to be out on the full, and Merritt to take the kick.
He did well though, didn't he? Just,
yeah, I love seeing those.
Getting the ball to his advantage.
Just trapping the ball with one hand, collecting it.
So Merritt to take the free kick in the back pocket for Queensland. Wants everyone to this near side, gradually moving over. Johnson will be the target, although Kane comes in from the side. Oh, Hare, sorry, comes in from the side.
So boundary throw in here as we see the girls from the Gold Coast and Brisbane training on the back oval. They'll be playing after this game here at Burpengary.
Shaw, strong tackle on him by Hare, not going anywhere. We'll have another ball up. 16 and a half minutes gone into the last quarter. VAFA with a comfortable game-winning lead, which they established in that first quarter when they kicked the first 6 goals of the game.
Yeah, they established a game-winning lead in the first 5 minutes, really.
Kept Queensland goalless in the opening term, 6 goals to 0 in the first term, and they kicked 2 goals to 1 in the second, and then 7 goals to 1 in the third. So they've extended their lead at every break, the VAFAs. Williams crashes through here. Can't quite take it on that occasion. Knocked out here. Howard feeds a hand pass back to Wynn. Goes to Fieldson. They've worked it backwards here to Zimbacks. Back to Howard. Howard hand passes over the top to Scott. Scott sends a ball to the pocket and Cruz. Worked out of it well there by Daniel. Steps around both the would-be tacklers and does really well actually. Got it to Power. And Queensland have done this quite well with a series of handballs, but eventually the chain unravelled. We'll have a boundary throw in just forward to centre or right half forward for the VAFA. They lead 111 to 29.
That was Lachlan Russ that slapped that ball over the boundary line, represented Queensland under 18 and under 21. And that's him with the ball there as he earns that clearance. Spackman, took on too many players and that's holding the ball.
I think he's been their best today, Russ, actually.
Yeah, I've rated his game as well. As Rice puts it forward, so that free kick to Queensland it is. So Tomlinson with the cool head. Oh, it was a mark, was it? So Nathan Kinch, one of 10 Morningside players out there today. Tomlinson, 200 gamer as I said before. It's a good kick. So this is Matt Truella from Wilston Grange. Not much to kick to. This is what's plagued Queensland all day. Spackman finds Tomlinson again, who kept running. Well done. Now here is the captain, Paul Shelton. Turns it over. Win now. Inside forward 50 should be chopped off. Too easy. Queensland through quick. Wide to the wings. That was a wonderful escaping kick. 4. Just outside 50. Wants to give off a handball. Draws the player. So this should go back inside 50 soon. This is Kinch. Kinch looking for someone to dish it off to. Goes to the other side of the ground through a switch. Here is Johnson. Looking for the lead of AB, but he goes longer than that. It's a 3-on-1 contest. It would take a massive effort. And he had to impede the contest there, the Queensland forward. It was Jamie Hackett, the 2 goal kicking forward.
So Townley to take the free kick for the VAFA. Comes to this near side over the top. Mark taken by Keane. Keane spears a ball into the centre of the corridor, but just missed its target, Williams. Mopped up there by Boone. Shrugged the tackle, hand pass over the top to Logan. His hand pass was chopped off by Roach. Got it to Cam Williams. He got it away to Nick Wynn. Wynn kicks it up towards half forward. He's just turned it over a couple of times these last 2 kicks, Wynn. And Queensland can reload here through Boone. Down the line. Nice mark taken by Hare in front of Williams.
So Hare, right on the wing, forced to go backwards. So this is Boone once again. Mount Gravatt product. It's a good kick onto the wing. Oh, he's played on. No communication from his teammates as Scott picks up the loose ball. This is Wynn. Bursting through the middle is Fieldsend. That's a great kick. Overman could almost take that mark. The ball still spills forward though. Well played by Ben Merritt. Oh, it might end up in there. Oh, it could be Handley. Handley spins around, couple of players, left foot snap. It goes through and he kicks his 7th. And that is a bag. Matt Handley from the old Zavarians down there in Melbourne. You got a feel for Ben Merritt. He took on his opponent, tried to rush the behind, but didn't quite carry, and that was probably the easiest goal of the day for Matt Handley. So that pushes the margin even further out. We're really nearing 100 points soon. 17-15, 1-17, Queensland 3-11-29.
88 points.
88 points. So bounce in the centre. Williams.
It's no one from his team, but Queensland come away with it here. Nicely done on this occasion. Boone kicks it out to the lead of Abbey, who's been well held most of the day by Caven. Caven gathers the ball, just works his opponent off it, kicks the ball to the pocket to McQueen. Miss Campbell, who hasn't had much of the football, but he's done a pretty good job at half-back as well. Hand pass to Wynn. Wynn's kick is a dangerous one to Williams, but it fortuitously goes over the back to Tardif, who gathered and set the ball up to centre-half forward to Croft. Oh, strong mark from Croft. Wheels around on his left, kicks to the space, and Handley, no, couldn't quite take it. And Queensland will come away with it to this near side. Kick over the top to find Johnson. Johnson by hand over the top here towards Quick. Quick plays on, sends the ball inside. 50, punched away, Win at the fall of the ball from Hackett. And Tardif, sorry, that's Zimbax, who takes on a couple of people. Hand pass back to Win. Win goes long up towards half forward and finds Cruz on his chest. Wanted to go by hand, goes to Scott, who kept running, runs through 50, runs to 40 metres and kicks a behind.
That's disappointing.
Was a disappointing
It would have been a
result.
great goal. So the lead still eking its way forward.
90 points.
90 points now as this is Matthew Bilton from Palm Beach.
It's 89. The scoreboard's quicker than we are.
Yeah. Oh, and that's landed beautifully for the Queensland player. This is AB, the target. AB's done no favours today. The forward entries have been pretty poor. He wants to liberate, won't get it. So AB has been dominating at QAFL level. But today just hasn't been his day. Like I said, the kicks going into the forward line really haven't suited him. That one was just an example of a kick that...
back, our big tall boundary. Yeah, he's back on
he's
this
doing
side.
Both ends of the... You love keeping an eye on him. Chasing it is going to be 4. As Andre the Giant is going to throw this one in.
Huge.
So, boundary thrown 15 metres out from Queensland's goal. 24 minutes gone in this last quarter. Now that's trapped in. See, an AFL umpire could have given holding the ball there if they'd let it run a tiny bit longer, but today they've been keen to just go to the stoppage. Good body work there from Williams. This has fallen well for Kinch. Kinch to AB. AB can't get his body in the right position. So Bilton Takes on the tackler, does well. Well done, Bilton. Finds his teammate in Truella. That's a goal. Well done, Matt Truella. He's kicked the team's fourth. 4:11:35, but they are still well and truly trailing the VAFA 17-16, 118. But Matt Truella, he held Matt Hanley pretty well today, I thought. I think he can hold his head high. He came off with that massive collision just about 20 minutes ago. And he's got himself a goal on the board.
So margin 83 points here at Burpengary.
That's it.
Just sounds very funny saying Burpengary. So the umpire, will he persist in bouncing it, or are they going to throw it up? No, it looks like he's shaping for a bounce.
Oh, they've got to practice today as well.
Let's see how it goes. Not a bad effort. Knocked out by Hare. Slapped forward by Tardif, who's spending a bit of time in the middle there. Beautifully done by Shaw. Fed a hand pass out for Rice, who got it back towards Scott. Overran it. Roach gathers it. No one's tackled him. He's just walked around everyone. No one put a tackle on. And kicks to Hanley, who was on his own.
In the back.
Could get a free kick for in the back. He is going to get a free kick for in the back. And Hanley can line up for his 8th.
The umpire really gave it a bit of gesture there. Really signalling to the players that it was in the back. So we're going to ride this one directly behind Matt Hanley.
Well, it just gets in the votes, doesn't it? If he kicks 8, I think.
You'd be a brave vote selector to give it to anyone else. So Matt Hanley, 45-degree angle, a kick from about 40. Distance shouldn't be a problem. The wind's still gusty here in Burpengary. He might ride it to perfection, if you don't mind Matt Hanley. That's his 8th. Well done, mate.
Actually run out of room in my little column to mark down all the goals.
So Tom Paul drew level with him. I think it was in the third quarter. They were 4 goals apiece, but he's left him for dead here. Big last quarter from Matt Hanley. You'd say a lot of it comes down to throwing Matt Truella into the forward line, as they've tried a few different opponents for him, but he has run right in this last term.
So back in the middle here, margin goes back to 89 points. Punt down, rucks 0-0 contest. Queensland have lifted in the clearances, but on this occasion again it's the VAFL have been picking for a throw here against Scott. Free kick to go Queensland's way. They've got numbers forward of the ball. It's a good kick and
Downfield?
Is it downfield?
Doesn't matter.
Going to be taken on this occasion by Bilton.
He's going to have a shot, Bilton. Looked like giving it off. Gives it plenty of height. Once again, plenty of VAFL players there to meet the ball. That's well rebounded. Really well rebounded. Here's Scott. He's got a teammate. It's Roach. Roach has been good today. But like we said before, so is everyone for Victoria. Howard. 2 goals to his name. And he can pass it further afield.
To Cruz.
So Cruz has Scott, just toying with him at the moment. Scott, left foot kick, should be chopped off, and it is. So Queensland will be able to switch this one.
Lights do come on now here at Burpengary. Nicely done here by
Russ.
Russ, yeah. Really well done actually against Tardif. Won the football, got it back there towards Spackman. His kick down the line was good to Aby, who goes to the pocket with a nice pass and finds Hackett, who's kicked a couple of goals today for Queensland.
That's one of the best chains of play they've shown today, Queensland.
Certainly to get it all the way to the forward line, absolutely.
Yeah, so Aby wants it. He could load up. Left foot he wants to get onto. Here's Russ. A couple of teammates combined. Logan has a shot, could come back. Oh, what a great mark on the goal line to Truella. And he kicks his second. Second from the quarter. And so it's taken them till the last quarter to be able to kick more than one goal in a quarter.
3-3 to 3-4. They've only a point behind this quarter, Queensland. So they've put in a really good show in this final term.
So almost 30 minutes have gone. You imagine that the siren should be going fairly soon. This last quarter has been somewhat of a formality. It's been good to see Matt Truella get a few goals on the board. And Hanley has brought up his 8th as well for Victoria. Umpires bounce the ball. Victoria win the clearance. What a trap there.
Paul
Traps that brilliantly. Shaw should go over the top. And Queensland are going to rebound through Spackman. So 4 on the wing. Goes long to Truella, taking on quite a few opponents there. Zimbaks won't meet it. It's been carried out of bounds by the Queensland player. So the lights on here, like I said before, we have the women from the Gold Coast and the women from Brisbane to take each other on in this match after this one. Still here at Burpengary. So there'll be a live stream for that if you're interested in watching that. As Queensland win this ball away, they'll go inside 50 for maybe one of the last times today. It's going to be Power to meet it, but it goes just out of bounds before he can grab it.
Siren imminent. Well, we better give you best players. Who do you think your best were?
Well, like we said, Matt Hanley, you'd be very brave to pick anyone else beside him, but I don't know. It's really difficult to pinpoint someone when there's been so many impressive contributors from the VAFA. I almost agree with your assessment of Lachlan Russ for Queensland. But what do you think for the VAFA?
Well, if I was giving 3-2-1s, which we normally do in our broadcast down in Melbourne, I'd probably go 1 to Croft. I think he's been sensational across centre half forward. 2 to Tom Paul at the feet of Matt Hanley, and 3 to Hanley. And just because that midfield that we talked about at the VFA has just been such even contributors all the way through. Here they go again through Tardif. He kicks up towards half forward. Here's Croft. As the siren sounds to finish this game here, the VAFA triumphant in the end. 18-16, 124, defeating Queensland 5-11-41. The goal kickers for the VAFA, Oldsavarians, as Matt Hanley kicked 8 goals, 2 for the afternoon in a magnificent performance from full forward. Tom Paul from Old Melburnians kicked 4 goals, 2. Cam Howard was the only other multiple goal kicker. The captain kicked 2, 1 in the first and the second. Zimbaks, Croft, Rice and Keane were the other goal kickers for the VAFA. For Queensland, it was 2 to Jamie Hackett, 2 to Matt Truella, both in the final quarter, and a single there to Reece Power in that final quarter.
So we're going to leave you here from Burpengary. I've been Will Ralston, joined by Victorian commentator Andrew Lennon. It's been a pleasure, Andrew.
Yeah.
Good to meet you.
It's been great to have a chat with you and talk our way and call this game with you, and I hope you enjoyed it through the various live streaming sites that we're showing this game. 83-point win to the VAFA. Good stuff.